Hi friends, sorry I haven't made a video for a while. I know you hear that a lot with YouTube, but I've been throwing myself into another project, uh, another YouTube channel, and it is just so fun to do that I haven't been doing much with my amateur radio. My TS50 is in pieces. I was connected up to my solar panel array and realized too late that the connector polarity is reversed on the solar panels. I guess it's made in China or something, I don't know. Bought it at Canadian Tire and it was on sale. And it does supply me with about 4.5 to 5 amps, depending on the state of the sunshine. Anyways, it really did some damage to the TS50. The fuse did not blow for some reason, I don't know. I had the correct amperage in the fuse, but it did not blow. Instead, the protection circuits in the radio blew. So that means that I have a lot of work to do. I thought it was restricted to a power board, which is at the bottom of the radio, and I had to take all the boards off to get to it, and I tried to repair it, but I didn't do a very good job. So I ended up finding one online that was reasonably priced. So I ordered it and got it in a couple of weeks. And from, where was it? Albania or something. Anyways, I got it and put it in, and the problem persists. So by the time I had all that done, I was pretty much, well, I wasn't in the mood for troubleshooting. And then I got involved because it's getting close to fall. Well, it's fall now, almost winter. And it's getting colder. So I wanted to get out and do some things outside. None of them included field trips with my radio because the radio's broken, at least the one I wanted to use. So basically I did come up with some really good techniques for setting up in the wild. And I acquired a pretty good backpack, which I said I was going to get in a previous video, and I now have it. And it's from China, so it's not the best, but it works, and I'm happy with it. So my plans are, now that winter's approaching, I had put up an antenna on the balcony, which was working gangbusters. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything to alleviate the noise problem. I have hydro wires. In Toronto, they haven't really done much with the infrastructure in Toronto with the sewers or hydro wires or anything. So the insulators are way past their life cycle, so they're starting to arc, and the demands on hydro in Toronto have tripled, and they haven't done anything to meet the demand. So we're getting blackouts and brownouts, and of course the hydro lines are definitely overused. I wouldn't know what the percentage is, but it's just a matter of time before something goes, and when it does, it's going to be pretty bad. That's part of the thing that I'm preparing for. You know, what to do if we have a reasonably long-term power outage like we did at Christmas time in 2015. And anyways, that's taken up a lot of my time. I have set myself up with a emergency pack that'll get me by for a while. Not to any great length of time, but enough that if we have a power failure for anywhere up to and including 5 days, I'm pretty much set. Lots of water and some ways of cooking food that don't require electricity. I'm going to be working on extending that, because I think we may actually see times when we'll lose power for months. And that's a serious situation. I think amateur radio operators will be valued in that SHFT or SHHT, yeah, SHT SHTF. SHTF, that's what it is. And stuff hits the fan, in other words. That's an American expression. Anyways, that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to be working on my radio. I'll probably do a little video on how I troubleshot it, assuming I'm able to get it back on the air. I gotta pore over the schematics a little bit for the TS50 and figure out I have the 13.8 line working. It's working up to where it's supposed to. It's the 5 volt and 8 volt circuits that are not getting to the radio receiver and so forth. So we got to figure out what's going on there. I discovered there was 2 different protection circuits. One was on that protection board. The diodes that I have, I had to get some pretty hefty diodes because when it's transmitting, it draws a little bit of power. So that's this here, and unfortunately, I couldn't buy just one of them. I don't know if you can see that through the bag. It's an IC, and the minimum quantity I could buy was 15, but they were like. Anyways, it came to about $8 for 15, which is neither here nor there. Doesn't hurt to have some diodes around. Anyways, I got to look and see what kind of, where the voltage is supposed to be present, and when I find where it isn't, basically troubleshooting is looking for things that are supposed to be there and are not, or things that are there that should not be, and from there you can deduct what's going on. So. I hope I haven't damaged the finals because they are in that same circuit area. But at the very least, the receiver's not working, so I got to get 8 volts to the receiving board and 5 volts to the control board. And once that's, I'm pretty sure the thing will come on. It's also possible I damaged the relay, which is why it's not coming up. At any rate, we'll get back to you on that. I'll do a video on what steps I took and how I fixed it if I do, in fact, end up getting it fixed. So 73s, and the other thing I wanted to mention is on UHF, VHF, and digital, I haven't been doing a lot of work. Unfortunately, a bunch of idiot lids are loose in the city, and they're jamming and attacking people and disrupting nets, and it's basically the people on TFM, the Toronto FM Society, which has always been a problem in the city. For some unknown reason, it attracts all the lids, and there's no shortage of lids now because getting a license in Canada is just a matter of answering 50 easy questions. They might as well just give it away. Like they're treating us like CBers. They don't. The one good side of this is we don't pay license fees anymore. You pay a one-time $10 fee or whatever it is now, and you're good for life. And unfortunately, I'm not saying that CW would keep the lids off the air because I've seen videos where people with 40-plus years of amateur radio experience under their belts have suddenly gone off the deep end and start jamming and causing problems and doing things they shouldn't. So I guess there's nutcases in every walk of life, and amateur radio is no different. So eventually, I hope that'll go away. It seems that we're now forming 2 groups of operators in the city, a group of normal operators and a group of real wackos. I think it's a sign of our times. I noticed on YouTube, there's all kinds of videos of jamming and the same kind of shenanigans that we're going through. So, anyways, the bottom line is that I've kind of been avoiding VHF and UHF, although we're coming up with some contingency plans. Basically, we have a tool that we didn't have back when I started in amateur radio in the early 90s, or either late 80s or early 90s, I think 92. I'll have to double check that. But at any rate, we didn't have those tools now. We do because of the internet. we can send out blast emails and on a digital mode called Brandmeister, which is a DMR format, we can hop around and have our nets there. And as long as the whack jobs are not aware of where we're going, we can usually get through a net. But I mean, it's about all we have right now with the HF conditions the way they are. Although the last few days, I've been transmitting a whisper, 5 watts, and I'm heard all over North America. So I don't know whether it's because I can't hear them, or because of the noise level, which is about S5 on 20 meters and S9 to S20 over on 40 and 80. Plus the fact that with the balcony work that's being done in our building, I had to clear off all the antennas and coax and stuff, so I can't really put any kind of an outdoor antenna. Although I suppose I could take my my loop out there until they actually start working on it, but this time of year it's just too cold for that sort of stuff. Anyways, what I'm going to do is get cracking on the TS50 and get it working, and maybe we'll do some winter operations in the field, because I can go down to a park not far from here, about 10 minutes, and the noise level down there is 0 practically. And I've worked on field day. I've worked some stations there, and quite successfully. So we'll try that maybe. Now that I know there's certain things you can do to be more comfortable in winter conditions. Anyways, I'll get into that some other time. I have another YouTube channel which is dedicated to being prepared for the situations which we will face in the future, as far as power outages and social situations. I think we're in for a very dark period of time leading up to a world war, which that's just my personal opinion, but I see a lot of similarities to the way things were just before 1938, 36, 38, that sort of area in Germany. I see a lot of that happening in America, so I have a feeling there's going to be a world war, and this one might be pretty bad because now we have the nuclear weapons and biological weapons to do some major disasters. There's all kinds of end of the world scenarios, but I like to think that we're a pretty adaptable race, and even though things may be pretty bad for a long time, eventually we will come out of it and into a new and more enlightened society. It's going to take time, but it's going to happen. But I don't think I'll see it, and I don't think most of you will see it, but I think it's coming. At any rate, enough babbling for now. 73s, have a great day, and stay tuned. There will be some videos coming up in the future. In the meantime, if you want to check out my other channel, just scan for the YouTube channel. I call it Dave's Life Over 65, because there I didn't want to narrow it into one particular subject, so this way I can do stuff that I'm interested in, like slingshots, camping, disaster preparedness, cooking, all kinds of things. So anyways, that one right now is just basically, there's a bunch of videos on how I'm getting prepared for different scenarios, getting ready to do some hiking and some camping, which of course I will marry with amateur radio. So when I decide to do some field trips this time, I intend to go as far away from the city as I can get in one day, and get out into the wilds and put up a little camp, throw an antenna up into a tree, and see what kind of signals I can get from there. So stay tuned for all of that. 73s, have a great day.